A lawyer once bragged about thinking like a criminal in a viral ad. Now he's a convicted felon. This individual also was born and raised in the great city of Pittsburgh in the great state of Pennsylvania. I heard about this ad several years ago. We're going to take a look at it in a second, and I am going to comment on this news story. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Joe Pometto, Joe the lawyer, a practicing Pittsburgh criminal defense, family law, and injury attorney. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Here on this channel, we cover legal news, do legal analysis, and give legal tips. Now, before we dive in and watch the viral ad that was mentioned in the article, and then I'm going to give you my comments on it, raise your cup, your glass in the air. Cheers with me, the same time sip. I'm almost out of liquid here. Sip with me. It tastes better when we sip together. Cheers. All right, let's watch the viral ad that is the subject of that article. Well, the individual who made the ad is the subject.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Consequences. They sure suck, don't they? America was built on freedom, not on a bunch of people with more money than you telling you what you can and can't do with all their stupid laws. Laws are arbitrary. Hi, my name is Daniel Music, and I'm a criminal defense attorney based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I stand ready, willing, able, and committed to defend you on all manner of criminal charges, including murder, arson, burglary, bank robbery, simple and aggravated assault, and possibly even funny throwback crimes such as moonshining or pickpocketing. When you're charged with a serious criminal offense, you're facing the fight of your life. You need a lawyer who understands you and understands where you're coming from. Trust me, I may have a law degree, but I think like a criminal. Street knowledge. A lot of criminal defense attorneys around town are going to take your money and then blow you off. That's not me. I pick up the phone, I answer calls, I return letters, and I make jail visits, because I'll probably be there visiting my friends anyways. I'm the Pittsburgh criminal defense attorney Pittsburgh criminals hire when they commit crimes. I'm also licensed to practice in every single county in the Commonwealth, so don't feel left out, people in Beaver, Mercer, Crawford, Venango, or even Lehigh County. I'll go anywhere. Any criminal defense attorney who promises you a result is most likely a liar or a scumbag. But what I can promise you is my committed fighting effort to ensure that you are adequately defended on any charge that you're facing. Pay me now, thank me later, and remember, you keep your trap shut, and I'll keep your trap open. Did I mention I'm Jewish?
Daniel Music is licensed to practice law in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania only. All participants in the commercial are actors, and their participation should not be construed as an endorsement. No results are or can be promised by Daniel Music. Any actors who may have committed the crimes they portrayed did so without the knowledge or consent of Daniel Music.
Okay, he had to throw in there at the end that he's Jewish. A few things I like about the ad. Pay me now, thank me later. I like that. Pay me your money now if I do a good job. Thank me later. He says that he's going to be responsive. He's going to contact his clients. I enjoy that as well. However, I don't know when pickpocketing became a throwback crime, and this street knowledge that he talks about is really interesting. Now, so while I do not condone or support this ad, it's certainly hard to deny that it's not entertaining. All right, let's jump into the article here. There are more than 50,000 lawyers practicing in Pennsylvania, but back in 2014, Daniel Musig sat at his desk, looked into a camera, and made a pitch to potential clients about what set him apart. When you're charged with a serious criminal offense, you're facing the fight of your life. You need a lawyer who understands you and understands where you're coming from. Musig said in a 3.5-minute viral video that went viral, leading Slate to call it the most honest advertisement for legal services that the internet has ever seen. Well, all right, that statement makes me smile. But have you ever, there's such a thing as being perhaps too honest? The shtick continued. Trust me, I may have a law degree, but I think like a criminal. 7 years later, Musig no longer thinks like a criminal. He now is one. On Tuesday, Musig pled guilty in federal court to conspiring with others to distribute hundreds of pounds of marijuana in April and May 2019. He was indicted in July, more than 2 years after the crimes took place. Musig's lawyer, Charles Porter Jr., did not respond to a Wednesday night request for comment from the Washington Post. Musig, 39, does not appear to have been the FBI's original target, but got wrapped up in the Bureau's expanding 2019 drug trafficking investigation in the Pittsburgh area. In April of that year, the FBI started wiretapping one of the phones used by Chadlin Levy, a heroin and cocaine supplier for a Pittsburgh street gang, federal prosecutors wrote. Through the intercepted communications, agents learned Levy was also dealing marijuana, and his supplier, Jared Eck, replenished Levy's inventory on Fridays. To resupply Levy, Eck got marijuana from a man named Wayne Barker, who ran a stash house with Musig. So, did this Musig make a little bit of money as a criminal defense attorney and then took around and started to spend that money on a criminal enterprise? Agents would eventually learn about and stake out a resupply between Eck and Levy on May 24, 2019. Federal prosecutor Kate Jordan said, during the surveillance, agents watched Musig enter an apartment with a backpack. I can't talk today. A few minutes later, Barker drove up in a Jeep, went into the apartment with a shopping bag, came back out to the Jeep to retrieve a vacuum sealer, and returned to the building. Then a Dodge Ram pickup arrived. Several men unloaded boxes from the truck and took them inside. Musig and another man then carried 2 boxes out of the apartment building and stowed them in the Dodge Ram. When the pickup driver left, officers followed and pulled him over, opening the boxes and finding $400,000. Woo! Pretty penny. Inside the apartment, agents found a vacuum sealer, money counter, and several boxes filled with marijuana that weighed a total of 404 pounds. In total, Musig was responsible for trafficking between 220 pounds and 882 pounds of marijuana. Levy was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Barker and Eck have pled guilty and are awaiting sentencing. Musig is on administrative suspension from practicing law, according to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court Disciplinary Board website. He was first admitted to the state bar in 2013, the same year as the great Joe the lawyer. The next year, he put out the over-the-top ad, which we just watched, offering his services that, in his own words, went minorly viral. The video opens with a bunch of his friends acting out crimes ranging from prostitution to burglary to drug trafficking. How ironic. In one vignette, 2 guys cocked their gun, pulled masks over their faces, and took off to rob someone. But before they did, they smiled and gave 2 thumbs up for the camera. Thanks, Dan. That's because Musig, by his own admission, was the lawyer Pittsburgh criminals hire when they commit crimes. That statement is not that bad in and of itself. In the 2014 interview with Slate, Music told the online magazine how the ad was one more way he was connecting with clients, showing them he understood what they were going through and how they saw the world. Music grew up in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood of Pittsburgh and, before going to law school, traveled the world as a freestyle rapper under the stage name Dose Noun. But he told Slate he grew weary touring the same cities in the same countries. I don't know, touring a bunch of different countries and cities sounds kind of fun to me. I was just kind of running in place in my life, he said. So he went to the University of Pittsburgh Law School, and he must be pretty smart, or at least he can take tests well, because it's not that easy to get into University of Pitt Law. Music told Slate he was a horrible student. He didn't respect his teachers, bucked authority every chance he could, and graduated near the bottom of his class. But he did graduate and he passed the bar. A year later, he was combining his new legal education with what he called street knowledge to speak to Pittsburgh criminals who'd gotten jammed up. One of his messages in his 2014 ad was interesting for a lawyer, especially one fresh out of law school. Laws are arbitrary. That's a ridiculous statement. America was built on freedom, not on a bunch of people with more money than you telling what you can and can't do with all their stupid laws, Music said in the video. I must say I can understand how that's a compelling statement right there. And some laws are arbitrary, but to believe that all laws are arbitrary, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. We need laws in order to function in a good, nice, peaceful democracy. At the mention of freedom, Music was interrupted briefly by an eagle screeching and flying in front of an American flag. That part was awesome. The start of the ad is perhaps most relevant, given that the next step in Music's case is sentencing, which is scheduled for March. He faces 5-year mandatory in prison. Music started the ad by swiveling his chair around to face the camera. He leaned on the desk in front of him as the graphic of a neon sign let everyone know he was a real defense attorney. Music's first words: consequences. They sure suck, don't they? Okay, so I graduated law school back in 2013. I practiced and grew up, live in Pittsburgh, PA. And in 2014, this ad came out. I remember when it was making the rounds. All the lawyers in Pittsburgh were looking at it and talking about it. A lot of the old school, more traditional lawyers were pretty upset about the ad. And now, let me say, there are certain parts of the ad that are compelling and funny, and it is entertaining. The problem with the ad is that it is seen as promoting crime, right? Saying, oh, go ahead, go out, commit the crimes, but don't worry about it because you have a lawyer who has your back. That is not, in my opinion, that is not a good message for a lawyer to be portraying. Yes, criminal defense attorneys are here to help people who have committed crimes, and it is our job to zealously advocate for them. But in no way, shape, or form are we to be seen as promoting crime. Crime is bad. Crime is bad for society. And the simple existence of a criminal defense lawyer doesn't mean that you should go out and commit crimes. And you also should have a deeper understanding of what criminal defense lawyers do. A lot of the times we're negotiating pleas like the ones that Music put into place. So, although we do our best for our clients, people still get convicted and go to jail. That's a reality. So, again, I recognize there were parts of the ad I thought were really funny, and some of the messages I liked. Pay me now, thank me later. But to show the real life crimes being committed, etc., just not cool, man. The sad part is that he appears to be an intelligent and charismatic individual, right? He toured the world as a rapper. He got into a tough law school. He graduated. He was a lawyer. He seems to have a nice sense of humor. And unfortunately, he put his energy into selling hundreds of pounds of marijuana instead of growing his law practice, which he got off, you know, maybe to a rocky start back in 2014. But then again, maybe this ad brought him a lot of business. I really don't know. So this story is ironic, right? The criminal defense lawyer who promotes crime ends up getting convicted of a crime. It's tragic, it's sad, it's also highly interesting. We cannot deny that. And you have to wonder, is this the chicken and the egg, or, you know, the egg and then the chicken sort of argument? You know, the person who would make this ad, is that person already one who tends to commit crimes? Was he already in the criminal world before he made the ad, or after he made the ad, he ended up getting involved in the criminal world? So maybe it's not as surprising as you would think, but let it serve as a bit of warning. I don't know how many of you have seen Carlito's Way, where Carlito, there's a big drug cabal, and there's a lawyer involved, and the lawyer who represents these criminal defendants ends up turning into a criminal himself. Word of warning, okay? It does happen to some people, unfortunately. So I hope you enjoyed this story, this video, this news clip from Joe the lawyer. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you for tuning in. Do what you can to support this show. Love you guys. Thank you very much. All right. Peace out.